So my name is Erin Weed. I'm the founder of Evoso, the creator of Evoso Live, and I believe that everyone has a story and everyone has a truth. And that means each and every one of you as well. Not just the people who are going to be speaking here tonight, every single person. Furthermore, I believe that when we speak our truth, we really do change the world. I want to introduce you to someone. Her name is Shannon Elizabeth McNamara. Shannon Elizabeth McNamara was born on June 21st, 1979. June 21st is the summer solstice. It's the longest day of the year, the day that there is the most light. And that was so fitting that she was born on that day, because everywhere she went, she just brought light with her. I met Shannon McNamara when we were at college at Eastern Illinois University. We were Alpha Phi sorority sisters. We were running partners. And she was just a certain level of friend that was over good friends. You know how you have like the friends that you'll go have a glass of wine with, and then you have the friends that you'll ugly cry in front of, and then you have the friends, in our case, where I actually went to the DMV and got an extra driver's license made so that she could have a fake ID. That's a whole different level of friendship, like when you're willing to commit a crime for someone. So yeah, I did that. But she was worth it, you know? She was just one of those people that was such a bright light in my life that I probably would have done anything for her. So fast forward to June 12th, 2001. That was the day that I got the news that Shannon had been murdered in her off-campus apartment at Eastern Illinois University, where we had both gone to college. And at this point, I had already moved to New York City. I was pursuing a dream of being a TV producer. And it pretty much put the light out the day I got that news. And if you've ever had something in your life that's happened that makes you think, that makes you stop, that makes you cry, you probably know what I'm talking about when I say that I all of a sudden started feeling this compulsion to move into action. This new reality of violence in my life was no longer acceptable. And so I decided to start something. I wanted to use my voice for good, but I didn't really know how. So what I decided to do in Shannon's memory was I wanted to learn how to kick some ass, like physically, you know. And so I found the most incredible self-defense trainers in the world, because ultimately what I wanted to do is I wanted to teach young people how they could protect themselves against violence, specifically young women in high school and college, which is the highest age risk for violence. And so I set out and I trained with all of these incredible people, and I started something called Girls Fight Back. And the reason we called it Girls Fight Back was because on the night Shannon was murdered, she fought. And boy, did she fight. She fought so hard that she collected all the evidence to put this guy in prison for life. And by the way, he was a serial rapist all across the country, so she made this world so much safer as a result of her fight and as a result of her life. And so Girls Fight Back became this tribute that I started in 2001 to her and to her memory. And so what I did, I basically put together a 90-minute one-woman show combining my story and my truth and sharing it with these young women who, quite frankly, did not want to be there. They did not want to see some lame safety speaker. That's usually how it was presented to them. And so I'd come up on stage and getting immediately booed. It's awesome. But so part of the job was, winning them over with my stories, with my truth that all of us have. And so sometimes I would speak to crowds like this, auditoriums filled with 3,000 people. Other times I'd be in high school gyms, kicking some poor gym teacher in the groin. I did that more times than I can count. Thank God for good sports. You could see the girls in the background beat each other up. It was kind of the best job in the world, actually. And we combined self-defense and stand-up comedy, by the way. So you probably notice about me already, I'm not too intense on the fighting side of things. So we tried to make it light and comedic, because when we take our stories and we take our truth and we make them so that other people can actually hear them by using lightness, by using story, by using connection, then people are going to listen. When people listen, they learn. When people learn, that's when you change the world. And so it's very important how we present our words. And sometimes I would give the Girls Fight Back seminar in little community houses. This actually was the last Girls Fight Back program that I ever gave here in Boulder. And it was a community of people that had a whole bunch of preteen girls in their neighborhood, and they just wanted to bring me in to teach these girls how to defend themselves. And so this turned out to be the last self-defense program I ever gave, because shortly thereafter I sold the company, because I knew that something else was waiting. I was starting to feel the compulsion again. I was starting to feel something coming through. And maybe you felt this before in your life, where you're feeling like an evolution knocking on your door, but you don't quite know what it is yet. Well, soon it was revealed. And it was revealed in the form of a little baby girl that was born to me on June 21st, 2012, the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the day with the most light. I really couldn't deny the symbolism of that Shannon, my angel, and Phoebe, my angel, were born on the exact same day. And I feel like it was Shannon saying, it's okay, spread your wings, go fly, it's gonna be all right. And so at that point in my life, I had a little bit of a crisis where I have this growing family and everything, but what am I gonna do next? I had such an identity about what I was doing with Girls Fight Back. What comes next after that? How do you top that after speaking to 1 million people in less than 10 years? And very quickly it came to me because TEDx Boulder was happening. I was like, oh, I know how to be on stage, so maybe I can help them out. And so I was matched up with a woman named Erika Napolitano, and I was her speech coach. And this is her on the stage of Mackey Auditorium at University of Colorado Boulder. Now, if you've ever been in this venue before, I mean, it's huge. It's like a 3,000-seat house. And working with her was such a joy. Now, Erika Napolitano, if you're not familiar with her, she is a redhead. She loves to drop F-bombs. She is a business consultant. She's an author. Her book is called The Power of Unpopular. So she's all about giving people permission to go out and just be who they are. And when I first started working with her, she was my first client ever who I'd helped put together a speech. And what I noticed as we sat down was she was just like pummeling me with stories and lessons and truths and all this stuff. And I realized it's gonna get lost in the noise unless we're able to distill it. And so I just kind of went through a process that for me felt very intuitive, but later on we called it the dig. But taking Erika through her speech and giving a speech about giving other people permission to be unpopular, to make the unpopular choice, it was the best seat in the house that I had that night, being backstage, watching her give a 16-minute talk, only to be met as she's turning around and walking off stage, just thinking, oh, I'm done here? Oh no, that entire audience is springing to their feet, giving her a standing ovation. And for me to be able to watch that from backstage was 1,000,000 times better than any standing ovation I ever got myself. And I realized, this is my next thing. This is what I'm gonna do when I grow up. And I've pretty much been doing that ever since. So I started this process called the dig, and every single speaker that you're gonna see here tonight has gone through the dig. And what we do is we get your story, we get to your truth, and we nail it down to just one word. Now, sometimes people think, how can you just nail that down to one word? People are so complex and so vast. Yes, they are, but it's also very freeing to get it down to one word, and then you write a manifesto about it. So the goal is epic clarity about what your purpose is and what you're here to say in the world. That's what a dig does. So that is the foundation of every single thing that we do here at Evoso. You don't have to be a speaker to do a dig. Anybody can do a dig. But those people that are feeling the compulsion to share on a wider level, we do have other options. We take people through speaker school to teach them the art of public speaking. The people you're going to see here tonight went through a program called the Speaker MBA, where we essentially teach them how to be conscious influencers. And finally, we just recently launched the Evoso agency, where we're representing these people that we take on this path, because we want to get the most authentic people heard, period. We need more leaders in this world that are willing to speak their truth.